We're back for episode 3 of Shadow and Bone. What happened in the last one? Caught the second amplifier beastie thingy, jumped around a lot, and things happened very quickly. Discovered that the Darkling's mother was still alive.
A whole bunch of things happens with the crow.
Yes, they go into this fight with a really creepy, what's his name?
The taxidermist. They all got their butts whooped.
Here we go.
Here we go.
New intro again. Books.
Honestly, I don't know how I feel about these intros.
I assume they foreshadow a little bit of something in the episode. Still don't trust this guy.
Ooh, that's a nice color.
He walks around with a lot of swagger. The pirate swagger.
Privateer.
And look, she's still in pants. Yes, we see someone commented.
Yes. I'm gonna keep saying it. When you know, you know. There are so many things about him. When you know, you know. Like really, they've made it.
What's happening?
Really, they've made it so obvious, technically speaking.
Does it fly? Flies, doesn't it? Cool.
Appropriate reaction.
Do we know where we're going, or we just... Because I assume we're going after the Thunderbird now.
Firebird?
Thunderbird? Firebird. Firebird?
I think it's Firebird.
Is this guy going to have to stand there all the time and go...
I think he's mostly directing rather than keeping it up. Technically the air is there, he's just directing it.
I know, but he still has to stand there.
Do the wobbly wobblies.
Ah, the flashbacks again.
That was an important piece of information you just missed. Touchy touchy, Mr. Bricker.
Well, this is obviously a very personal affair. He's become very snappy. Did Mr. Brother get into dodgy dealings with the bad guy? It's very difficult doing this with you having read the book.
They don't know he's a bad guy.
Obviously, but who would intentionally go into dealings with a bad guy?
Fair enough. Oh, he's caged her.
I feel like the waterfall was much better.
To be fair, she's older than him and has the same powers.
Does she look comfortable though?
I don't think that he's not compassionate.
But they've made him a lot more like dark and super evil in this.
Absolutely, but what she's saying, she just said she didn't teach him compassion. I actually think it's the opposite. I think he's too compassionate. To his own people, and no one else, unfortunately.
Well, that makes it like, what's the saying? One man's freedom fighter is another one's terrorist.
Absolutely. Again, I'm not saying what he's doing is right, but in the end, he's hundreds of years old and watched everyone he loves die. I would forgive him if he did anything. Just saying. We wouldn't want to go into the fold where there's flying Volcra while on a boat.
Flying boat.
Flying boat that can crash.
But can't you make a nice little light bubble for them?
I don't know how long she can hold it. But at least everybody can fight in there, so... Is there anything with 2 you can do it?
Not to mention, like, she hasn't, like, trained or anything. She's just like, okay, I'm strong, I'm going. You still
This
need,
is
like, tactics.
This is the worst place to just, like,
This is
try.
such a terrible plan.
We did not think this through even a little bit.
Who else thinks this is going to backfire?
Or at least not go as planned. I don't know if it'll backfire, but...
Well, something has to go wrong. She hasn't had any training. She hasn't practiced anything. She's just like, okay, I'm strong, I'm going to do it.
I don't know. Is she trying to eradicate it, or is she just trying to make a path for them so far?
She said this is her only moment to eradicate. Or, isn't it?
I don't know. Maybe the test is, and she fly them through. I think that might be the test. How's your stamina, Alina?
Well, she's obviously almost made it. Ah. You see, this is why you practice before you going into it all in.
She has post-traumatic stress, and she's still young at this. She hasn't...
That's what I'm saying. She has like no...
She suppressed her powers for so long in season 1.
Exactly.
So yeah, we really should have tested this even before doing that. Yeah, much more efficient at killing Volcra than the Grisha were. You gotta do it again, girl. If you're gonna make it out.
Convenient timing is convenient.
That went
Dude, your
Begin
ship has
descent?
decided that descent is happening.
Descent is happening whether you want it or not.
I hope you've got insurance.
That went well. I mean, considering it did. What a surprise! We need all three!
Who would have guessed that?
It's like...
Plot twist.
the youngest prince. Which really they didn't hide very well because he's permanently wearing Joel's gold. He's too well dressed to be a pirate.
As someone from outside, that's very piratey, though. That's sold off as very piratey.
Yeah, but if you look at everybody else...
Yeah, I know, but still.
They're in leathers and so on.
He's the captain. Yeah, I know, but he's the captain. She has a bit of gold on her, or gold color at least.
He was had lots of flair and flamboyance.
And in your own words, as I recall,
That's treason. David.
this is a pleasant surprise.
You have to go.
Because he loves her. So he protects her. Also, she was throwing him under the bus immediately.
Love his little...
Wonderfully awkward. Horsies! Love me a good horsey.
Pirate!
Well, they're getting kind of...
Show me over there. But it had to be something like that. Can't just have like one lovely romance going on. It has to be some kind of
It
tension.
has to be. One triangle is being replaced by the other.
Exactly.
Dude, you're like the second prince. You have no say in the matter. I would want the white horse. But she also can't afford
It's
to
a
be...
lot of pressure for someone who's only recently learned about this.
But also, don't boost her ego too much, because then she's gonna go in with a strong ego and she's gonna get her butt whooped.
Which she probably will, I assume. I mean...
Because in the end, he is still hundreds of years old and practiced.
A bit overconfident.
Only edge she has right now is that he's sick. Still a bit of a bitch, though. Oh, you two are gonna do something stupid.
Of course they are, look at them.
He is adorable. I don't know how old he is, but he is adorable.
He looks like...
He's 12.
Well, he looks like the detective in Death Note. You know, the guy that sits on the, like...
Oh.
Well, like, he looks like he would be able to play him to a T.
Yes. Actor-wise, he reminds me a little bit of the guy in Maze Runner and Queen's Gambit, who also is like 30 or 40 or whatever,
But
and
he
looks like he's 12. An excuse would be great. Come up with anything. Anything will be good, guys.
We're from Hopping Sons.
At least one of them can think on their feet.
Get on with it. Master Roland has lessons tomorrow.
Cut this wire.
How dare you accuse him? He's a child.
Exactly.
Yeah, that. I hate piano.
Except that we don't.
Except what we have a jurist, is that what he is?
Right.
Fabricator? One of those.
Dearest.
Probably won't be as strong because he... Oh no, he used something. Considering that wasn't a clean fix, that would definitely not...
Sound as clear.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like he needs clear.
Evidently it doesn't matter if the piano is tuned or not.
Quite frankly, it could have been due without that key.
Play it, boy.
Full of surprises, this young man. Love.
Jasper's in love. Which I understand. I mean, a good piece of music. Man who can play an instrument. See?
I don't understand why these guys don't just lead with stuff like this. You have people that like trust you and that are your family basically. Just talk to them.
Yes.
Communication.
Yes, but he...
Bro, help a chick out, man.
Remember, he has a thing.
Also just ignoring the other arm, which is also clearly bleeding.
Yeah, girls stick together. Never, ever underestimate Kaz. Because he has many weaknesses, but he likes to keep those
Hidden.
buried deep.
Still getting his ass handed to him though.
Yeah, well, he's still alone.
Ah, but the bad guys are following the traditional rule of one attacking at a time.
I recommend a cane.
He grams up good as well. Not when he's fighting like that. That was very Sherlock Holmesy. With the hair all messy. You should keep your hair like that, mate. Stop slicking it back. It's a much better look. He young, but he not stupid.
Ah, the creep of all ages again. This guy is more creepy without the creepy mask. That's saying something.
Is he not going after him after being injured?
This is also logic. I mean,
I assume she has a plan.
one would hope so, because I mean...
She wouldn't go in blind, hopefully. Or maybe she's just hoping that her anger about having to go back into servitude is enough to...
We've all seen Star Wars. That doesn't end well.
Sweetie, all you really need is to go for any of the arteries. I suggest the thigh. It's usually the least... the one that people protect less than the neck.
Death by 1,000 cuts?
Yeah, basically, isn't it? All she has to do is keep him going, keep fast.
Ah, there we go. There's arteries in there. He would bleed out very quickly. I really thought this was going to be dragged out a little bit longer.
Did she impale him on something?
On a set of wires.
I see she no longer has problems killing, like she did in season 1.
Straight to the heart. I feel like he would have deserved some more pain, but...
I mean, to be fair, if that was an artery she cut in his thigh, he probably had a couple seconds left anyways. Never mind the fact that he was impaled. But that was still in, remember, never removed that.
He's sitting in the corner like the boy's like, I should not be hearing this, I should not be hearing this.
I think he's very much happy he is hearing it.
Yes, you're happy you're hearing it, but you internally you're like, I should not be hearing this.
And clearly, Kerrigan...
So uncomfortable.
Kerrigan is clearly not in his smartest point anymore.
He's becoming rash.
Yeah.
Is he going to kill his mother?
There's only one more thing I need from you.
Ah! Brutal. How far you have fallen.
Right over his finger.
They made a point of reminding us of this. One, this is not in the book.
She does not seem impressed, mate.
I mean, he makes sense. I will say that. I realize that.
Yeah, Thanos also made sense.
Completely insane.
Yeah, but this is politically only. She could keep Mel in her, like, in a side room. She 100% doesn't want the guy she's in love with to tell her to marry another dude.
Of course not.
Because logic dictates. Yeah. I don't think letting go is in his vocabulary anymore. Should have shot at him. Who is not smart enough to shoot at the shadow demon?
Acidic saliva.
How in a world
Right down to a
with
swallow.
magic do you think anything is myth? Like, yes, we have people who can control the wind and make stuff, and, you know, we have a shadow summoner and a sun summoner.
Not to mention the giant curtain of shadow that's...
But the lizard dragon, that's too far-fetched, that. Don't believe it.
It's puppies. Yeah, babies.
Oh, she gets to witness Matthias doing his thing. Gonna get her all hot and bothered. She just had to take his shirt off for this.
But you can't fight with your shirt on.
No, that would be...
Ridiculous.
Can't fight with your shirt on, but you do keep your pants on for some reason.
You kill a bear.
That's not good. Okay, he's fast.
Even more creepy than a taxidermist.
Also, eating human flesh is supposed to be real bad for you.
Makes you go crazy.
Evidence in... what is it?
Case in point.
Case in point.
Fight back, dude!
Doesn't want to fight.
Well, then he's gonna get dead.
Come on, Matthias! Do it. That was a power pose if I ever saw one. Oh! Mm-mm.
Finish him.
Stay down! Nina didn't even have to participate. But wherever she is, she liked it. Are you surprised? You really should have seen that coming. What happened to you, mate?
Yeah, I don't like how they've
They've really dumped him down.
dumbed him down and made him like rash and just dumb.
I thoroughly enjoyed the Darkling all the way to the end of book 3.
Even in the last season.
Because he was very...
Calculated and like...
She dreamt of the Darkling, so now she's going to go do Mal instead. Or not.
I've made my decision.
I have no notes to fall back on. Just
Me neither, but...
Just my very poor memory.
Yeah. I don't like what they've done to the Darkling. He was so cool, calm and collected and like badass in the first season, and now he's all like...
They've turned him
Lost
into a
his-
super villain.
Yeah, like he's lost his shit and he's gone all super crazy and...
He's not like in the books. He's very like you can always kind of sympathize with him a little bit, and he's never completely
Bad.
bad.
No, I
You
wouldn't
never.
know it.
No, you know. Yeah, he's not. He's bad. He's obviously the baddie in the story,
this
but he's not.
He's just become vengeful
Yeah.
and like just
If,
lost it.
If I had to compare him to someone, he's kind of like Loki. He's like he's not really a terrible person. He just has his own motives and he does things that he thinks are just and right. But then in a lot of ways, he's also nothing like Loki at all, because he's very, like I said, he's always cool and collected. He's very poised and very. He never really does anything uncalculated or not like planned, and not like he's never like this. He's really unhinged in this. They've really unhinged him, and I don't particularly like it either. I don't know if it's because I know what he's supposed to be like, or if
Yeah,
it's just
probably.
because
no,
it's
but
very
I don't know the book and I still don't like how he's
Yeah.
like.
it's very predictable. It's very Hollywood.
Yeah, it's going exactly in that direction that most Netflix things go. They go to
Yeah.
to a like basic script and that's what it's following. Whereas in the first one he was
I think they
like-
were worried about in season 1 that, I mean, there were obviously the polls of who preferred Mal and who preferred the Darkling. And I think they wanted to really do a shift away from the bad guy and be like, okay, now we're going to focus on Alina, Nikolai, and Mal. And we're slowly going to phase him out so that whatever end to the story they
you don't feel
predict,
bad for him or anything.
you won't feel so you will pretty much root for Alina and the others to
Yeah, of course.
win.
The fact that he cut off his own mother's finger was a bit brutal.
That's definitely not in the book. Again, one of the things that shows how they've really switched him, because like I said, in the book I truly believe he loved his mother.
Our pirate friend who turned
Prince.
prince. Didn't see that coming either. There were a couple nice little, I suppose, plot twists if you don't know the books that were quite interesting. Like that bit. You said it was quite obvious that he was the prince, but
But again, it's
they played it very well. That they made him look very piratey, and then they like
I said during the reaction, what I have appreciated in season 1, and obviously I'd only read the books after, but then I rewatched season 1 after having read the books to obviously compare. And what I really appreciate is that they had in season 1 already, and now in season 2 they do have nods and things that only book readers will pick up on, but that don't like break the story for anyone who doesn't read them. So for someone who has read it, it's kind of like a reward of, here, you know what this is about. But to anyone who's normal, it'll just be like,
normal. Us peasants who haven't read the book.
for the peasants who haven't read the books, it's just like, oh, he's just a flamboyant, like, privateer.
Pirate.
Whereas everyone who knows what he's going to turn into saw Kaz looking at the ring with a giant gemstone on it, and you're just like, yeah, would a pirate really have that? He could, but I know why he actually does have it. And then he's always in gold, he's always in blue, which is a royal color. Obviously, it's not royal blue, but blue has always been one of those colors. And what do you think from your non-point of view?
No, my main thing was how they've turned the Kerrigan into such a baddie.
What's your... There's a little thing
I
floating
know,
around
it's
here. If it comes to me, I'll apologize. I will smack it. What are your thoughts on Kaz and everything they're trying to put through there? Because they're clearly trying to get to something.
Well, they're obviously playing two separate stories now. They're doing like what you said the books are. Like one runs parallel. They're obviously not gonna
Yeah,
join
but
anymore.
I mean with the Kaz's backstory in particular.
Yeah, it's
Do
interesting.
you have any
It's-
theories on what?
It
what's
feels
going
to me
on?
like a filler. It's like just that's the only thing. And like why Ineja went after that guy on her own, it's a little bit disjointed in my opinion. I think it's from someone who's like just watching the series. It's a little bit. It feels like two separate series that I'm watching at once, which is how the books are, I guess. But
And I think that's what they were worried about in the first one, which is
Yeah.
why they joined the stories. And I think they were
yeah, I know.
hoping.
But then, in my opinion, they could have just left them out entirely. Rather make the Darkling more like in the book and make him a bit more, give him a bit more of a story instead of adding these characters.
Yeah, I feel like an argument could have been made to make Shadow and Bone, see how it goes, and if it goes well,
Then
then
do
make
the
the
crows.
crows. Or the other way around, do the crows, and then if that works well, do Shadow and Bone and be more true to the book. But I understand they were trying to appeal to as many fans as possible and as many people as
Yeah, but I'm-
possible because you have two genres that are kind of meeting here. You have your
Yeah,
love
I know,
story,
but now you've got
standard
I
storyline.
suppose, but now you've got like people who are going to watch half of it and be like, now we have to go back to this story and get lost or something.
Yeah, I do get three
Hold on,
surprising.
stupid sun is coming out.
Guys, we've had overcast for days and now the sun's coming out and it's bright. We're gonna have to adjust and he's probably gonna cut that out, but I'll say it anyways.
Yeah, now it's
Right.
dark.
Of course it is. What's
Well,
supposed
you
to
know
happen.
the basic of the story.
Yeah. So I have more information. I don't need to pay as much attention as well because I kind of pick
Yeah,
up
and
on
me for
details
someone who
quicker.
hasn't seen any of it, to focus and to remember all the names and all the stories and stuff, it's becoming
Yeah.
very difficult.
So not a good review
Anyways,
today.
yeah, no, I preferred season one. Season one was much more conjoined and easy to follow and
Which is weird because we had three storylines in that too that were basically completely separate until the last two episodes, I think.
Yeah, but it wasn't like now you have Jasper and what's his name doing his own thing. Inej did her own things. He's doing his own thing. Alina and them are doing their own thing. The Darkling's doing his own thing. That's 6 different things that you now need to follow. Not to
I will
mention-
say in book 3 of Shadow and Bone, I think one of the key differences is that Shadow and Bone is written in Alina's point of view. That's it. Which means that storyline wise, it's actually easier because we never leave her. So that means that the
Yeah.
Darkling only pops in
when
in
he's
her
with
dreams and so on, or
when
when
they're
he's
together.
physically with her.
Which you obviously can't do for TV. For fair enough, that's
Yes.
fine. But you could still stick to just that story. It's just
We'll try to minimize it a little bit.
plus now we have what's her name,
Genya?
Genya and David, who now also have their own story. I don't know. It's a bit much to me.
Not really. They tried to escape and it didn't go well.
Yeah.
So David is now out and about somewhere, and Genya is mutilated. I don't know how bad they're gonna make it. So his injuries are more like what she is kind of supposed to look like. She's scarred. So she considers herself, because she's been working, she said it in season 1, she's been working on herself since she was 3 because she's a tailor, right? So she's been remodeling herself since she was 3. So for her, this is basically the ultimate punishment that he did, because he basically defaced her. So far, definitely less impressive than
Than
season 1.
Let us know if you have the same thoughts, feelings. Netflix, you know.
Tell us if there are any differences that we missed or any key points that we missed. Put it in the comments. And
Also,
if
pirates, not privateers.
privateers.
Are they coming back? Are we going to get more? I hope we get more of the pirates because I like those two.
And if you have a recommendation of what you would like us to react to next, please pop that in the comments below. Like,
Almost going to
subscribe.
start with the Mandalorian. Episode 1 of what are they called? Edge Runners. Cyberpunk Edge Runners is coming out on Thursday, and then hopefully we can finally. I think you have a
Won't
couple
that be
episodes.
out before?
No.
Okay.
Yes. Never mind. I'm going to cut that out.
So we're gonna start Mandalorian. I've nearly finished binging season 2.
Actually, by the time this comes out, we might have started it already.
We'll see.
All I know is you'll see. Cheers.